Slovakia Chronicles, a podcast of information, news and much more of our beloved Slovakia. By Andrea Paolo Mazzucchetti. It's me! Let's start. Hello everyone, welcome to the 44th episode of the Slovakia Chronicles Podcast. The situation in Slovakia slightly improved over the past week, and it seems that Slovakia has broken the curve, said Health Minister Marek Karadzic. The number of hospitalized patients remain above 4,000, and more than 100 people are dying every day. On the other hand, mobility decreased slightly, and the number of vaccinated people has increased, although more districts will be in the black tier from the next week. 3 managed to return from black to red. Also, the British strain is prevalent, while mistakes occur when identifying samples of the South African variant. Another good news is coming from the vaccination topic. In fact, staying up at night struggling to book a vaccination slot will be no longer necessary as of next week, the Health Ministry promises. A new app that will serve as a virtual waiting room for COVID vaccination in Slovakia is currently in the making and should be ready as Monday 15 of March. The app comes after much criticism of the ministry in the past week, when vaccination registration turned into an online hunt for vacant slots. The ministry will provide the option to sign up for vaccination using the one birth number. After signing up, those interested in vaccination will be allowed into what the ministry calls a virtual waiting room and assigned to available vaccination dates based on their age, on the basis of older people served first. Age is now the main criteria for getting a vaccine. The Health Ministry estimates the vaccination for people older than 60 years old using the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine could open as early as March. In April, free slots should be available for people over 50 and in May for those over 40. New vaccines expecting approval could increase the phase of vaccination. Slovakia has contracted 1.4 million vaccines by Johnson & Johnson, expected to get the green light from the European Medicines Agency this month. The country is also applying to the European Commission for the increase of the vaccine supplies in the second quarter. The Health Ministry said that if all the vaccine supplies that Slovakia expects will arrive on time, all those interested in vaccination should be able to at least get the first shot by the beginning of summer holidays in early July. He also said that if Sputnik is added to the rollout, the process could be faster by a month. Talking about the Russian vaccine, while Slovak experts are testing the Russian vaccine on animals before they approve it for use on people in Slovakia, the Slovak Prime Minister is calling on the European Medicines Agency to work faster. In reaction to EMA advising against the use of unauthorized vaccine in the European member state, Prime Minister Igor Matovic suggested lives are at stake, and the Medicines Agency should work 24/7. By the way, the State Institute for Drug Control apologized for this Matovic comment. Oh dear, whole controversy. Anyway, to survive the more restrictive measure that will be in place starting from Monday 15 of March, I have collected some news that could be useful for all of us. For example, wearing FFP2 respirators became mandatory on public transport and in shop already since the previous Monday 8 of March. But starting on 15 of March, they will be also mandatory indoors. Here are some tips on what kind of respirators you should wear, how long to use them, and how to dispose of them once they cannot be longer used. You should not wear face piece respirator with an exhalation valve, as there is a risk that the virus could be exhalated into your environment. The respirator should be labeled as SPP2. It should also contain the EN 149 plus A1 European Technical Norm and CE mark, followed by a 4-digit number. The number identifies who issued a certification for the respirator and should be printed directly on the respirator. The face piece respirators should be sold with 0 VAT in order to decrease their price and increase accessibility until the end of April. The Slovak Office of Standards, Metrology and Testing say that the KN95 respirator are designed mostly for the Asian market and have a slightly different shape. Thus, it recommends wearing them only as an alternative to cloth mask. If the respirator labeled KN95 contain European labels, EN149 plus A1 plus CE and the 4-digit number, it means that they pass the European norms. These labels should be printed directly on the respirator. The FPP2 respirator are usually meant for single use. You can use one repeatedly if you put it on and took it off using strings and wore it for several minutes rather than hours. Respirator labeled FFP2R can be used repeatedly. Unless the producers say differently, one can be used for no more than 8 hours in total. If you want to use a respirator again, make sure you follow these rules. Hang the FFP2 respirator in a design area or in a clean and air-permeable container, like a pepper sack. Use a dry and clean respirator 3 to 5 days apart to minimize the risk of contamination. Do not let your respirator touch someone else's respirator. The containers should be regularly disinfected or thrown away, and they should not deform the respirator shape. If you wear an FPP2 respirator in place with a 9 number and frequency of people, it is recommended to not use it again. Respirators should be thrown into the municipal waste in a plastic waste bag. They don't need to be disposed of in containers for separate waste. Another suggestion for the expert is to beware of traveling for far destination. The expert, who served as pandemic advisor to the state, point to the increasing number of people who contract the virus when holidaying abroad. They also warn of the risk of bringing more dangerous variants into Slovakia. As many as 35 COVID-positive cases were imported to the country in February and March. Most of them were brought from Egypt, followed by Tanzania, Maldives, and then Colombia, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Algeria. Under current rules, everybody returning from distant destination has to register to the e-Ranice form and isolate for 14 days. They can take the PCR test after the 8th day of their return. In addition, finally, after 1 year from the beginning of the pandemic, the Health Ministry published instructions for people being treated at home. Before early March 2021, doctors didn't have any specific guide to follow. They mostly consulted on treatment by phone and offered some general advice, but several patients have complained that they have problems reaching someone. The ministry first published some recommendations to moderate COVID symptoms during home treatment, prepared with Audrey Suket, chair of the Slovak Chamber of Pharmacists, in early February. These include recommendations like taking vitamin C and D and using several non-prescribed medications to lower one's temperature and treat pain and coughing. Then, on 4 March, the ministry published instructions for patients on home treatment and their relatives, prepared in cooperation with the chief ministry expert on general medicine, Adriana Simkova. These include general regulations, like measuring body temperature and body pressure, taking note about your health condition, and talking about your health condition with your family. It also provides information about what kind of medication to take and when to contact a doctor and emergency line, and how to end the self-isolation. This recommendation can be found in the standard nepostup.sk website, just in Slovak. So if you want to read the suggestion, you can find the website in the description of the episode. I hope that this information can help you to overcome this hard period, but I'm confident that together we will make it. Thank you for being part of the Slovakia Chronicles family and stay safe.